Hello, good morning to friends. I am Purushottam Bharambe. This is my fourth video on electrical machine design. So, in the last video, we were discussed about the output equation of induction motor and how we are going to select the specific electric and magnetic loading. Now, in continuation with that, now here we see how we are going to separate out this D and L, that are the two main dimensions of three-phase induction motor. So from output equation, if you remember, our output equation is, say, it is equal to Q. Output equation of our motor is equal to Q, that is the output power. It is equal to C0, that is your output coefficient, multiply by D square, that is where D is a diameter of our stator core, multiply by L, that is the length of stator core, into ns. Small ns, it represents synchronous speed in revolution per minute per second. So this is your output equation. Now from this output equation, say Q we can calculate from the power rating of our induction motor. If it is directly given in kilowatt, directly to take it, and if it is given in horsepower, just convert it into kilowatt by multiplying it by 0.746. Then you select the value of specific electric magnetic loading and calculate C0 with the help of using that formula of C0. C0 is equal to 1.11 into pi square into specific electric loading into specific magnetic loading into winding factor into efficiency into power factor into 10 raised to minus 3, which we seen in the last lecture. So this one C0, and then once you get it, then you can calculate the synchronous speed in revolution per second, that is from the required speed specification for which we are going to design the motor. So it means from this output equation, and once you decide that specific electric and magnetic loading, you will get this product of d square by L, and d square by L is equal to this Q, that is output kVA, divided by C0 into Ns. You will get it. Now this product you will get, which is a product of d square and L, where d and L are the main dimension. Now once you get this product, so we have to find out separately what is the value of d and what is the value of L. So that we see here, that is we call this separation of d and L. Now to separate out this D and L, in relation between D and L, this is one equation we are getting. Now second relation that we use it with the ratio of, for any motor, the ratio of length to the pole pitch. This ratio of length to pole pitch, that we call say length to the tau, is required to be decided. And from that ratio, this ratio of length to pole pitch is represented by abbreviation tau, and that tau is nothing but, say how we can write it, that pole pitch is equal to pi into d, that is our capital D, divided by number of poles for which our motor is get designed. So this is that ratio, and this ratio has one specific value, and that value of this ratio depends upon the our prime objective or our priorities while designing our induction motor. To which parameter we are giving a topmost priority. It means we, whether we want to design a motor for good efficiency, whether we want to design a motor with the best power factor, or whether we want to design a motor with a minimum cost. So as per our requirement of design, so we have to properly select the value of this ratio of length to pole pitch of induction motor. And see here in front of you on the screen, that for each objective function, for minimum cost it is given in between 1.5 to 2, for very good efficiency it is given in between 1.4 to 1.6. So generally we use 1.5 if it range is not mentioned. Say if for you want to design overall good design, then we will take it as a 1 or 1.1, and for good power factor it is in between 1 to 1.3. And if nothing is given, so generally we always try to maintain the good power factor, and for getting a good power factor, best power factor, this additional relation is also given in between D and L. So D is equal to 0.135 times number of poles into square root of L. So this is the relation that is given. So from this relation, say suppose I want to design a motor for good efficiency, so I will take it suppose 1.5. So this is the second relation, second equation in between the L and D. So pi is constant, P is number of poles that we know. So L is equal to 1.5 into say pi upon P. So we will get the relation between L and D. Here also we will get the relation between L and D. So we have now two equation and two unknown D and L. So by solving these two equations, the first equation d square L equal to Q upon C0 into Ns, and second equation is L upon tau, that is a pole pitch, equal to some constant values 1.5 or any one. So by solving these two equations, we can very easily separate out these two main dimensions of our induction motor. But remember, for that we have to very carefully select the ratio of length to the pole pitch. And say if you seen all these ranges completely, so we seen that the value of this ratio length to pole pitch is in between 1 to 2. But suppose mainly when we are going to design a small power rating motor, like suppose my motor is a fractional horsepower, means less than 1 HP. So in that case what will happen when we take this ratio as suppose 1, which is a less minimum one out of this range. Suppose I select that ratio of L by pole pitch is equal to 1, then in that case the diameter which we calculate, it is comparatively very small, and when we are going to increase the ratio of this value of length to the pole pitch is on the higher side, diameter is going to decreases and length is going to be increases. So for one ratio or higher than 1, so if I calculate the D for fractional horsepower motor, then this D is a very small value, and as this diameter is of motor is a very small, then the size of slots which we need to provide on the inner periphery of stator core is having a very small dimension, and that may be insufficient space to accommodate the required number of turns of our windings. So that's why in case of our small power rating motors, the diameter should be quite sufficient, at least minimum diameter should be there. So that's why this ratio of length to pole pitch is maybe less than 1. It may be up to, on the lower side, maybe up to 0.5 also in the case of fractional horsepower rating motor. So that is on the lower side. Otherwise in general purpose motor and specification is not too less, then it is vary in between 1 to 2 in that range. And then second restriction or second constraint from, this is the constraint from the lower side of D. Now if say your ratio is increases higher and higher, so your diameter is get decreases. Similarly if I decrease that ratio on the lower side, diameter is get increases. And if the diameter is get increases to a higher and higher values, then what will happen? When your diameter is much more, then for any particular specification, say your peripheral speed of your rotor, peripheral speed which is given in the meter per second, and how we are going to estimate it? So our rotational speed multiplied by the pi into d, that is nothing but the circumference of our rotor. So that gives us the peripheral speed. So small ns into pi d gives us the peripheral speed of our motor. So if that diameter is get increases to a higher and higher values, then for the same specification, for the same rotational speed rating, our peripheral speed is going to increases higher and higher, and it imposes the restriction on higher value of d, so that this peripheral speed should not exceed 30 meter per second. Say for general purpose say material we are using for the construction of rotor. So that's why when you calculate this D and L, you have to check that how to the peripheral speed, and if it is less than 30, then it's okay. But if it exceeds 30 meter per second, we have to revise our design by changing the ratio of length to pole pitch. In that case, we have to increase our ratio of length to pole pitch than which we take it initially. So that is on the higher side restriction to avoid the higher peripheral speed which is not permitted with a general purpose, generally same material which we are using. And in the special case, if your motor is there, special applications are there, then we have to design our rotor with a special material which are capable to withstand that much higher peripheral speed, that may be extended up to 60, or in some case it may be up to 75 meter per second also. So this is about how we are going to separate out this D and L, that main dimension, and how we are going to calculate and what are the lower side constant and what is on the higher side constant, that also we discuss. So let us say revise it, and for your practice, so you try to calculate the main dimensions of our induction motor for any two specification. So that is your homework. You take example of anyone. Suppose you may take it, say for 10 hertz 3 phase 440 volt 50 hertz 4 pole 10 horsepower induction motor we want to design, and for that motor what should be the main dimension. If your specific electric and magnetic loading that you select yourself, constraints are same, your peripheral speed should not exceed 30 meter per second, and say your overload capacity required is a very normal, it should not require very high overload capacity. For general purpose motor we have to design it, so you have to refer standard design handbooks, refers in literature, and apply your logic. And remember, we want to operate our motor with a best power factor, and accordingly you calculate this two dimension D and L for this given specification. And then for the same rating motor, just we change our say performance parameter, just change our priority. Instead of operating at a best power factor, we want to design a motor with a minimum cost, and accordingly you try to calculate this same two dimension, that is D and L, for the same motor. So this is your assignment, so try to solve it, and we will come back in the next video, in which we see the details of stator core design. So thank you.